welcome to another episode of Amiga Retro in 2026. Technically, this is the first video of the year, even though my previous video was released on the 1st of January. It was actually filmed in late December, so by technicalities, I should say, this is the first of 2026. This is a revisit of a solution I came up with for the extremely bright output coming from this chip here, which is your video DAC. Not that one right there. That was too bright. And this requires a reference voltage of 1.235 volts, I believe, on pin 18 of this chip. And the funny thing is, Commodore, for some reason, or at least the fab plants that they had at certain areas across the world, decided to omit the part, the Zener diode. Well, it's not really a Zener diode, it's the LM385, which acts like a Zener diode. It basically, it's specifically built for voltage references, go figure, and 1.235 volts in this case, to keep the brightness at the correct level. Without that, which like I said, they omitted, it can work okay, or it can get very, very bright through the RGB port. And I even believe through the composite, though I can't confirm that, but definitely through the RGB port. So yeah, it was kind of hit and miss. So I guess if you, back in the day you had that, you just have to turn down the brightness on your monitor. But I'm going through, scan converters and all that fun stuff, so that's not really a good option to start mucking around with settings on an LCD monitor and stuff, because you have it set for this, and then when you go to a different signal source, it's going to be like crap. But enough of that. But anyway, so what I did in the other video from years ago, actually, get you into the action here, as a kind of a workaround, there we go, is this resistor that I put here basically creates a voltage divider circuit. So where it's connected here, this end is actually connected to the positive 5 volts. And this end here actually goes to that reference pin on the video DAC, which I believe is pin 18. So by creating a voltage divider, I have a 1K on the one side and 330K going to ground. It pulls it down to about 1.3 volts. Now the problem with that is it works, but power supplies on the Amiga especially, I've noticed, can vary dramatically from 4.7 volts to 5.1. That's going to, of course, change the voltage, the V reference voltage that it's picking up here, that is, as it is being the video DAC, it will fluctuate. And because of that, it's going to vary in brightness depending on your power supply. And I've even seen some power supplies slowly drift in voltage just during operation when they heat up, especially the cheaper ones and stuff, right? And yeah, so I actually found these guys here, the LM385. This is in the TO92 package. Basically, they look like transistors. This first lead here that you're looking at is not even used. These two are. And they also come in an SMD package as well, which I will show you here on the front of the board, because that's where you see the parts they did not install for some reason. I don't know. So I'll get back up here again, make sure I don't get lost on this board. There we are. I believe you can see it just fine. There we go. So the LM385 comes in a surface mount 8-pin package, which is right here, which as you can see is not installed. And there's also space for a transistor, or like a surface mount version of what I just showed you, right here as well. Both are not populated. And I'm not sure if you can really see it in this. I think I'm zoomed in as far as I'm going to get. For some reason, they actually have these pads blacked out. Like it's almost like they put black over top of the contacts. So even if I had the surface mount, I'm not sure how easy I could get that to install without scraping that off, and I'd probably wreck stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these transistor-like looking LM385s and install it. And where I'm going to install it is, can we see that in the image here? It's a bit blurry, of course. Why wouldn't it be? Okay. There we go. That right below this capacitor here, that one goes to the composite out. This here is actually what we can use to tap into the signal for this on pin 18. So one side's ground, the other goes to pin 18. So I can just straddle the LM385 that I just showed you across these two pins and place it neatly somewhere up here, because there is no room, unfortunately, underneath the board to do this. All the contacts I need are up front. And to demonstrate that better, I will zoom out and show you the high-tech diagram that I have here to explain what's going on. Whoop. Okay. And maybe get it a bit more. Yes. Such awesomeness. And here what we're talking about, this LM385, which you either can buy in like the transistor-like looking package or the surface mount 8-pin, doesn't exist. They excluded it completely. And the capacitor that I just showed you does. Now this is the 1K resistor. Keep moving out of the frame here. Stop tapping on it. This is the 1K resistor, and I put the 330 ohm from here to ground, which created the voltage divider circuit, right? And that works, but unfortunately it doesn't really regulate it. It just depends on what the supply voltage is, so the brightness is going to change. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the LM385 with the transistor-like package and put it across this capacitor right here, making sure that the anode and cathode are hooked up in the correct, positions, directions, what do you want to call it? And we'll see if that gives us our 1.235 volts. But before we do that, I will show you what it's currently doing with and without the bodge that I did, or the workaround, I guess is a better term, many years ago. Many, many years ago. Yes. I will be right back at that time. Okay, so I currently have that resistor workaround from, previous repair attempts. At least got it, not as bright, blindingly so, detaching your retinas and all that. That's almost how bright it was, you'll see. But right now I'm going to measure the voltage once I plug this in. One moment. And I'll even hook up the monitor as well, or sorry, the RGB. Eventually, the unit is not on, by the way. I'm just plugging stuff in. Now I will hit the switch and it's on. Okay, so I just need a ground point, which there's 1,000 of them here. So I'm going to put it down here off camera. Actually, it's not really off camera, is it? Okay, in the corner here. Sometimes I can take this off and kind of prop this under here so it hits up against that. There we go, that works. And I'm going to go to the capacitor now and measure the voltage. Let's see what it's at. And there we go. We're at 1.3 volts, and that's with my resistor workaround, the voltage divider. I'm going to now unsolder that, and so remove it from the circuit, putting it back to the way it was when I bought this motherboard or came in possession of it. And we'll see what the voltage is. You can see it's already fluctuating, right? It's already went down a bit, all on its own. So I'm going to take that resistor off, and we're going to measure it again. And just so we can compare, I will try to move this more over this way without making everybody dizzy. And that is kind of what we're looking at right now. There we go. Got to move it over a bit more. Anyway, you get the point. So I'll put a before and after photo. That's what it looks like right now with the, without the, with the workaround. And I'm going to take that resistor off, and you're going to see how bright it's going to get. And after that, we'll try the Zener, not Zener Dyno, but the Dyno? Yes. The Zener diode, which that's not what it is. It's the LM385, which is basically a reference source regulator. They call it 1.2 volts. Anyway, enough of that. I will be right back. Yeah, I'm not sure how well this shows up on the camera, but that resistor has been removed, and this is it without it. And it is very bright. So bright that the white is actually harder to, let me see if I can move this down a bit. Yeah, much better. It is harder to read against the, I guess, purple background of the insert disk image from the Kickstart. So let's see what the voltage is now at the at that capacitor that we tested before. One moment. Okay, we are now back into test mode with the multimeter, which is, I think, blatantly obvious. And by the way, this thing is awesome. It also has a built-in oscilloscope as well. So it comes in handy for almost everything. Yes. So I have the ground lead here, as you can barely see. And I'm going to go to the capacitor lead, and I wonder what the voltage is going to be now. So this is the side of the capacitor that goes to the reference input voltage of pin 18 of the video DAC. Full voltage, 5.1. It's supposed to be 2.35. So it just amazes me, how could it have left the factory like this? It must have been near the end of Commodore. Anyway, yeah, so the voltage divider at least brought it down, but I want something to keep it consistently at its spec at 1.35 volts. I lied, 1.235 volts. Well, we'll see. So I'm going to solder the LM385 across the capacitor here, and I will join you at that time, and we'll see if that actually makes any difference. I am really hoping so, because I ordered the part specifically for this. And the reason why I'm getting back to this motherboard, I forgot to mention, this is part of an upcoming video / project, and I really want it fully operational to spec. It's even been recapped, as you can see, by me, and all that fun stuff has been done. I don't ever want to take it out of the case again, to be honest with you, because all the stuff that's going to have to go into it is going to make it rather unpleasant. So I want to put this thing, as they say, to bed and be done with it. So anyways, I will continue this, and I will be back to you once that part is installed, and we'll see what voltages we get. Yes. Okay, better than the before and after, as in static, or trying to compare the two, and it makes editing easier for me. I'm going to, while it's on, and yes, I will be careful, I'm going to put the LM385 across the capacitor shown previously in the video, and watch the difference it's going to make for the brightness. Any second now if I can get this stable. There we go. That's what it should look like. I'm going to solder it onto the board. I'm pretty sure we're going to see the correct voltage, like 1.235, but without it, this is what it looked like out of the box. Craziness. And just to add, a quick note here, apparently another issue this will cause is anyone that's had like a floppy access or hard drive access, the screen would actually get lines through it or jitter. That was also another side effect of that missing part. And they had two parts they could have put on here. In other words, two versions of the part, the SMD mount or the SMT transistor looking mount. They didn't use either. Yes, but one other thing that's curious, this is a revision 2B motherboard, and this is my revision. Now let me turn this off first so I don't short anything out. This is my revision. I know you can't see anything right now, but this is, I will zoom out a bit, the revision 1D1 motherboard. Now, it too, if I can get close enough, sorry for all this jostling about, and there we go. Where did I put my pointing device? Always misplace that. Let me get this out of here, 1 second. I'll just use a Q-tip. Yes. What on earth am I? Oh, let me get you. Let me get the board or the camera moved. I'm sorry about this, man. This is like not planned. It's stuck. Come on, board. You can do it. Okay. Now. So now you can see that is where they could have mounted the SMD 8-pin package version of the whatchamacallit, LM385. Now you'll see, and I think that's as much as I can zoom in. Oh no, actually I can zoom in much more. Oh my goodness. Whoop. Okay, where are we at? There we go. So we're zoomed in a bit more. As you can see, this is where the LM385 in the 8-pin package should have went. And notice this one doesn't actually have, pin 1 and 8 blacked out for some reason. But where the surface mount version of the TO92 package, well, that's the larger package, but the surface mount version that kind of looks like these ones, like these transistors, it looks the same. It has 3 pins. Now, it's not installed, but they have a small capacitor in here 1 microfarad thereabouts. That gets rid of the flickering because of the LM385 that's not in there that I was talking about before with the floppy disk or the hard drive controller. So they knew there was issues, and that's how they resolved it at the factory. That was not put in after the fact. That was done. So were they trying to save money? I have no idea. It's craziness. But anyway, I'm going to install that part onto the motherboard, and I'll be back to you. Sorry, I will get back to you when that is completed. So there's the LM385 mounted in place across that capacitor, a really good place for it. I'm not going to let it just lie like that so helplessly, so I'm just going to bend it up so it stands straight up, just like that. And I have heat shrink on the leads to prevent any possible shorts. And yeah, that is pretty much that. I mean, it doesn't look too bad, really, and it works. So we're gonna measure the voltage and see how close we are to 1.2 volts. Yes. Okay. The transistor, sorry, the LM, because it looks like one, but the Zener diode reference voltage 1.2 volt regulator is now in place, standing straight up. It doesn't look too bad. I'm going to measure the voltage and keep an eye on that and see what our reference voltage is now. And we are going to be at, look at that, 1.2357, and it needs to be 1.235. Well, close enough, right? Definitely 0.001. And the beauty of it, it will stay at that voltage as long as the input voltage doesn't drop below 2 volts, which if that ever happened, the computer wouldn't work anyways. So there you go. The problem is now actually fixed, and it's working the way it was intended to from the factory. As I put my finger into the lens, and look at that. Looks exactly like it should. You cannot complain. Well, you can if you want, but the colors, I should say, look more vivid because it's not all washed out by over-brightness. So that is a proper fix, and that part was a whole 75 cents. Yes, so I ordered 10 of them because who knows. But there you go. So if you have the same issue, if that part's missing in both spots, yeah, you can get it up and running the way it was meant to. So that's pretty much it. Sorry if this video was a bit on the messy side, but I thought I'd get it thrown in before it's too late. And yeah, I'm not sure why that is still displaying. Let me see, get out of here. This OSCC has issues sometimes. There we go, now it's gone. Yeah, there you go. And that is that, as they say. And yeah, I suck at goodbyes. So anyways, until next time, take it easy.